The Alain Locke Initiative really is about breaking down all of those barriers that have stood between the dream of equality of opportunity in education and the reality. I was teaching on the west side of Chicago. I got in my classroom and I had a bullet hole from a drug deal gone bad in this park across the street. One of my students didn't come the first day of school because he got shot in the foot as a sixth grader running drugs from the park to the cars. You can't help but say to yourself, this isn't right. This wouldn't exist if it were the community that I grew up in. And don't we have an obligation to treat every community in the city like our own and look to do something about it? The Alain Locke Initiative is focused on how do we have more great urban schools in communities where traditional public schools continue to fail. And to have more great schools, you need more great leaders. And the Alain Locke Initiative is about identifying and developing those great leaders who are ready to have the biggest impact possible.
ICTC teachers see themselves in this role for the long term. They know all the challenges that are involved in it. They know day to day that it takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of persistence on their part, but they are always reinvigorated every single day by the work that they do. This excites them. This work excites them.
The real issue with urban schools comes down to this. You are in a cycle of failure. You have too many kids who feel like they're failing in school, that doesn't build their own self-esteem, their own sense of patterns of success. You have teachers that look at how their kids are doing and don't feel like they're succeeding. You have schools that aren't succeeding. And you get into patterns of failure. You gotta ask you the question, why? And what do you do about it? And the real answer to how you solve it is you have to start over or create change, powerful change. I'm often asked by people, with all the ways to invest in urban education, why is this the highest impact? And I ask them, have you ever seen a great urban school without a great leader? The fact is you don't. And the reason is simple. The right leader, the right principal, creates the environment that enables students and teachers to succeed.
We say that at Alain Locke, we want to produce young people who are globally competitive. We want the children to know that you are a citizen of this world. And in order to compete, you're going to have to achieve, and you're going to have to perform, you're going to have to apply yourselves. That is what we call absolute excellence, reaching for absolute excellence.
I'm Taylor Shaw. I am an Alain Locke alum, and I was in the second graduating class. I want to be a talk show host, so that follows the path of broadcast journalism, and I plan on enrolling in the Medill School of Journalism at Northwestern. Starting at Alain Locke, I knew that it was always important for me to follow my dreams and to use my education and bettering myself to become the best me that I can be. And I think that's true for my peers that also graduated from Alain Locke. An Alain Locke student has the potential to change the typical idea of a student that comes from an inner city area.
We're not financially well off, and so for us, education is a door. It's a way into a different type of existence, that my kids are going to be able to do that and be able to not have to work a job but choose a career. I tell them all the time how your job is to be the best student that you can be. We've been awarded all of these opportunities, so we're responsible to take advantage of them.
In addition to the direct impact Alain Locke has on our 550 students and families on the west side of Chicago, we are using it as a laboratory today. With so much change happening, you have to be able to figure out what works and how do you make it have the maximum impact in schools before you scale it. In addition to serving as this lab, it's also equivalent of a teaching hospital, where we bring in school leadership teams from across the city and the country to be able to learn about these cutting-edge practices and how to implement them and how to really make them work effectively.
I really believe that the principal sets the tone for the building. I believe it's the principal's responsibility for the outcomes and the experiences of everybody who comes into this building, because one life is too many to lose. And so part of what we believe is, as Montessorians, is that you work with the children. The children are the hope for the future.
It matters because our schools are failing. It matters because our students aren't achieving what they need to achieve. It matters because not only are our students not competitive nationwide, they're not competitive globally.
ICTC prepared me for really understanding sort of the complex issues involved in urban education. You realize that it's more than just about the subjects that you teach, but it's about the children that you teach.
I do believe the Ryan Fellowship Program is the answer to this problem of closing the achievement gap. I think they are giving us as principals the skills, the tools, and the mentorship necessary in order to do it the right way. We can't fail. There's no room to fail our students. We have to do this right.
When I visit one of the schools we work with and I see the kids, I can't help but think about my own children. And then when I see a young woman from the west side of Chicago, like Taylor Shaw, at a place like Northwestern, I can't help but think about the opportunities I hope my own children have. And the leverage and the impact are incredible. Think about it. A school might have 500 students, and a principal might serve for a decade. In that decade, they will directly impact 5,000 student academic years. It's remarkable. And even if it cost us $100,000 every time we empowered someone with the capabilities and skills to be a transformational leader, to be able to have this impact, it's nothing compared to the $60 million that school will spend over that same decade. When you look at it that way, the question isn't, why would you make this investment? It's how can you now?